So I had a really interesting theory brought to my attention while live streaming on Twitch. There's a vampire theory for chapter 21 that I wanted to share. I found the full theory and did some research myself, and an idea like this seems pretty plausible to me. How's it going, everyone? My name is Schmuckles. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I also stream on Twitch on Wednesday and Sunday nights. The link is in the description below for that. This theory is not my own. It was put together on a Google Docs, featured in another YouTube video, and brought to my attention by TheFallback on Twitch. Giant shout out to these awesome people for their speculations and awesome research. I'm going to link all of my sources in the description below. So the Observers in Tome 7 has a clip with a vampire in it. This vampire is Vlad III, most commonly known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracula. You can tell it's him based on the emblem on his helmet. The old stories about Vlad made him the best known medieval ruler of the Romanian lands in Europe in the 1400s. Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was published in 1897, was the first book to make a connection between Dracula and vampirism. Vlad III is known as being the iconic inspiration of Dracula. The shocking appearance of Vlad III in Tome 7 is making a lot of people think that a Dracula chapter is headed into Dead by Daylight. Out of the major mythological creatures that we don't have in Dead by Daylight, a vampire is one of the most iconic killers on that list. In the Observer's lore video, Vlad appears in a castle, which is Corvin Castle in Romania. This is the place where Vlad was imprisoned. This could be hinting at a castle map coming in with chapter 21. Based on the current status of the Raccoon City Police Department, I'm not sure if we're going to see a new map for a little while in Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has used the tomes to foreshadow future chapters before. For chapter 17, the Blight was shown earlier in the tomes as the Alchemist. This was way back in Tome 1, and we didn't actually see the Blight until last year. So it could be foreshadowing chapter 21 or a much later chapter.
What does year 6 look like for this game? We've had some bits and pieces, more killers, more maps.
More killers, more maps,
Yeah.
more survivors. There's definitely going to be one or two really interesting new entries in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
One major difference between the vampire and the alchemist that we saw featured in the tomes is that we got a clear look at the vampire's face, but not the alchemist's face. It makes sense to not see the alchemist's face if it's going to be a future chapter in Dead by Daylight. So that kind of suggests that we're not going to see this version of Dracula as the vampire chapter. Maybe this original version of Dracula is actually foreshadowing a different version to come as a chapter. Recently, in a behind the scenes Tomes interview, Behavior Interactive devs have said that the tomes can reveal future content.
When we're in the archives, you see that there's so many stories that can be told and stuff that we know or don't know, or we might see in the future. I think it's really interesting because it's pushing a lot the story, and we can go way deeper now in the lore.
Apparently, the Blight wasn't based off of a werewolf despite popular opinion. He was more based off of the mysterious case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Behavior transformed this iconic novel into an original creation of their own. People are thinking that they're going to be doing the same here with Dracula and a vampire chapter. The mysterious case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was published in 1886, while Dracula was published in 1897. So both are considered public domain, meaning they don't need to be licensed, which would be considered original creations. Chapter 21 is set to be released in early to mid-September. So a lot of people are thinking that a vampire or Dracula chapter would fit in the nearest chapter before Halloween. Written in 1897, Bram Stoker's original Dracula novel has long since passed into public domain. So a Dracula chapter in Dead by Daylight could be seen as an original vampire chapter. I just want to point out that chapter 21 can be an original Dracula chapter, but it can also be a licensed one as well. This tome could be teasing a licensed Dracula chapter without telling us too much. If they go with an original Dracula chapter now, then that would eliminate the possibility of a licensed Dracula chapter in the future. That would kind of be a bummer because there are so many really cool different versions of licensed Dracula chapters that they could bring into Dead by Daylight. Could this tome be hinting at a Castlevania version Dracula chapter? Castlevania is a popular gothic horror video game developed by Konami, and we know that Behavior already has a relationship with Konami through the Silent Hill chapter. Also, possibly the most important clue in all this is that the Dracula license was not listed as a possible license in the satisfaction survey. In this video, we overviewed every single licensed killer on Behavior's radar. If you haven't seen that video, you can click on the title above. Could this mean that we see an original Dracula chapter coming into Dead by Daylight very soon? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Either way, we'll talk more about the licensing logistics of every single possible Dracula chapter in a future video. I just wanted to share this chapter 21 theory with you. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.